Wait, did she just say there's two fucking genders? Hang on, I think this woman just screamed, "I'm not a man. There's only two fucking genders." Let me just rewind that. That was great. I love this woman. This woman is like so spicy.
Mad. Let's talk about it.
I am not a man. There's only two fucking genders.
Why can't all conservatives get this angry? This woman, if anyone knows this woman's name, I want to talk to her. I want to help this woman train conservatives on how to do fucking activism. I'm not even joking. Why can't this woman teach other conservatives how to do this? Because, like, if there were conservatives doing this in every city, we wouldn't have an issue right now. Good for her. Yeah! Oh, I love it. I love it. Again, why aren't more conservatives doing this at every Democrat event ever? Can the RNC just buy a whole bunch of like those bongo drums and mail them out to conservative groups that are in liberal cities? Can they please? Can the RNC do anything? And by the way, like, so this is not directly related to this video, but I want to say this. A lot of people know that Scott Presler has been very, very sick lately. He's been in the hospital. I did just see that he has now gotten out of the hospital, which I think is great, but he's going to have months of time where he needs recovery. Months and months and months. There is not another Scott Presler on the conservative side. There's one of him. Scott Presler has been taken out of the game because he has worked himself ill to the point where he was hospitalized for a week. That's how bad it got. And there were probably underlying illnesses and issues there anyway. I'm not saying that. But if you don't think that Scott Presler's work schedule directly led to the fact that he landed himself in the hospital for 8 days and is now facing down months of recovery time at home, that happened because there is one Scott Presler. And he was trying to do everything with zero help from the RNC. The RNC has never put Scott Presler on the payroll, and it is one of the stupidest mistakes that the RNC has ever made. If the conservatives don't learn from the reality of their most effective activist in the country ending up in the hospital weeks before an election because he was working so hard and is now facing months of recovery time where he can't do activism, if conservatives don't learn from this and start training more Scott Preslers, I don't know what to tell you. As soon as Scott Presler recovers, the very first thing that should happen is the RNC needs to put him on the payroll in order to have him train 100 people just like him. Because they need to develop a group of people that can do the same thing that Scott Presler does, because now, as we've seen, conservatives had one activist, one in the entire country, one that was going out there every day working to register more voters. They had one. And now he's sidelined. And this should be a lesson to the RNC and the entire conservative base. Scott, and I don't even want Republicans to win, and I'm giving you this advice because it's really good advice. If Republicans were smart, they would immediately, as soon as Scott Presler is capable of it, put him on the payroll of the RNC and make his only job to train more activists like him. Scott Presler's job should be to train 100 more Scott Preslers, 100 more people who can go out all over the country and knock on doors and register voters every single day. And then once those people come up to snuff and those people learn Scott Pressler's techniques, then the RNC needs to pay them to each train an additional 100 people for each of them. This is the game changer for the RNC for generations. Will they do it? Probably not, because they don't like that Scott Pressler is gay. And so even though he is their most effective activist, even though Scott Pressler has personally registered more Republican voters than anyone else in the country, even though him being sick is a massive hit leading up to the midterm elections, because he is gay, the RNC will not support him. The RNC will never put him on the payroll and never give him the position and status that he damn well deserves based on years of work and activism. And I think that's a shame. And I don't even want Republicans to win. But if Republicans did that, if Republicans paid Scott Pressler to train 100 more Scott Presslers, and gave them the resources to go out and go all over the country and do what Scott Pressler has been doing on his own for years, that would be a game changer for the Republican Party for a generation that would not be able to be overcome by any nonsense that the Democrats want to pull. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. Probably because it makes way too much sense. All right, guys, let's finish this up. Mount the like button for me if you're enjoying this already.